All right, I'm working on the miter frame that goes around the edge of the nightstand. And here's a piece. Yeah, I rough cut them on my miter saw. That's right off the miter saw. Then I bring it over here to my shooting board, and this is where you just fine tune that cut. And you get a nice glass smooth miter. Now the problem is, you know, things are not perfectly square, so even though I might have this set up at 45 degrees, or it might be off a little bit, you never know until you actually put the two pieces together. But starting this way, get you a nice joint, and I'll show you here to start with. Okay, so this is the top right corner, and that is a nice joint, and that comes together just really nice. So I've got to take my time here and just fine tune, and you know, I've got this one I think where I want it right here. But the next thing is to basically get one cut to length, which I'll start with this top piece, and I've marked all my pieces here to indicate what's what. So this is the top, and then that also helps with the grain matching on these two corners. Okay, so those go like that. And then I'll cut this one to length and get it to fit all the way across the top. I'll anchor this by, you know, using some dominoes and some clamps. I won't glue it to the piece until I'm absolutely sure, but that's my method for doing this. This is going to take some time, there's no doubt about it, but that's what's going to make this thing look really nice. Alright, I got my face frames on, and now I've got to create these filler strips here, and luckily for me, I've got these pieces that I've left over from making my face frames that are, yeah, they're long, but they're just about the right thickness. So I'm going to run these through my planer and thin them down a little bit. Now one of them is exactly the right thickness, and the other three stand just a little proud, so that's just kind of the variation you get with these pieces that I cut. The one side evidently is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to run these through my planer, get them cut to length. I'll just glue those in place, and then that's what my drawer slides will attach to. All right, one little tidbit here. I've marked them. I marked these first two for length. I numbered them so I make sure I get them on the correct side. When I slide this in here, I can't get it flush to this face frame because there's a little bit of glue squeeze out in there. So I'm not even going to deal with that. I'm just going to, or this is how I'm going to deal with it, I guess. I'm going to just put a little chamfer on this edge right here, and then that'll allow that to slide in there and become flush with the front here. Now the other thing I'm doing is I'm eyeballing these pieces to make sure that if they have any kind of bend to them at all. You know, they're pretty darn flat. But I want to put that convex edge toward the outside. So in this case, I'm going to flip this one. Let's see here. Yeah. So now when I go to glue it or clamp it, I'm going to clamp here and in the back, and that'll give me a good registration or good glue pressure here in the center. So I get a nice tight fit all the way down the length of the case. And it's going to be a lot easier drilling these holes in these pieces now than it will be once they're installed. So I'm going to take I've got a piece of scrap here and my filler piece. This actually gets spun around and goes, it's on this side. So this is the back. I've got it set at 5/8 of an inch from the back and flush to the top. And then I'm just going to take my Vicks bit and drill a couple pilot holes here. And put those screws in and see how things line up. I think next time the back one's good. Now so's the front one. But next time when I drill, I'm going to drill the one hole, put the screw in, and that'll help hold it in place, and then I'll drill and do the second screw. Alright, that looks good. Nice and parallel here. Nice soft close hinge. This hinge is 17 3/4. I don't remember the millimeter measurement, but it's the closest I can get to fit my opening. Looks like it's 450 millimeters. 450 or 450. 450. So now this will come around, mount in that way. I think I can just leave it right on there. I've got a little tab to clamp to. Should be all I need. Just something to hold it in place. Okay. That'll be nice. That will work nicely. Got to be careful. I get that little bit of grease on your fingers. You don't want to get it all over the case. Yeah, we're nice and flush there. Okay. All right, I'll do that 3 more times. Then we can start working on the drawer.